Hello, my name's John. This is a quick kit bash project, and you're watching Wargames Models and Other Hobbies. Hello and welcome to the video. In the first part, I started putting together this Space Marine character. Started working on the left arm with the weapon, doing a few minor conversions. I'll leave a link for the first video in the description if you haven't seen it. But in this one, I'm going to start working on the rest of this character and hopefully finish it. So I have a selection of parts to finish the model off with. One thing I am going to go with, which I wasn't sure in the first video, was using this Sanguinary jump pack as the backpack for this character. So that is going to happen. I've also got this base, which was knocking around in the last video, that I'm going to use for the character's base. But to start with, what I need to do is work on the right arm and the weapon. So for the right arm, as a basis, I'm going to use the mace that comes with the Deathwing kit. And what I'm going to do is put a chainsword on the top of it. And I want to make a kind of a spear rather than a chainsword or the mace. So to start with, what I'm going to do is clip off all of the bits so I can then start gluing it together. And here it is complete. A nice unique weapon for this character. So the next job I'm going to have to do is on the right arm itself. And what I need to do is cut the hand off so I can then stick that weapon in place. Okay, I'm going to think about how that hand goes on, but for now let's stick them to the base as well. So I find whenever I do old conversions that don't quite work out or parts that are left over, I tend to chuck all of them into my bits box so I can return to the parts at a later date. Okay. So, other things while that glue's drying, I've got a belt pouch that I want to attach to the front of the belt, and then I've got some ammunition for the weapon, which I'll probably stick on the back belt. I've got to trim that down slightly. So while the glue is drying on that and the spear, I'm going to trim this down. And I think what I'm going to do with these, they're going to stick on to the back belt. So this guy's going to be really overloaded with equipment and things like that. But I'm going to put those on last. Let's sort out this belt pouch, which I want to put on the front of this guy. So that glue is taking a little bit longer than normal to dry because it's got to fight through old residual glue, and I can't remember if it was any super glue on there at all, but that will block a bit of the plastic glue from working. So if any of this doesn't stick, I'll go straight for some super glue, but the bits that I'm currently sticking are going straight onto bare plastic, so it should be okay. Okay, so there's the pouches on the front. So what I also need to do is just trim off the backpack connector on the back so I can put on this Sanguinary jump pack. Okay, let's just tidy this up slightly. And I know it's probably an impractical item, this backpack, on this model, but I just kind of like the look of it. I'm going to do another video of painting this guy, so careful with my other hand, just knocking that off. So while I'm doing that with the knife, I've got to move that with my front finger there, and the base is still curing. So anyway, let's stick this in place. Now I want it to sit quite high on his back. Yeah, that's okay. And I don't mind that the vent's obscured by his head. Okay, so while we're at it, let's put this shoulder pad in place. Nice, there we go. So what I want to think about now is the position of the chain spear. Now, when I'm building models and converting things, I always look at a flow and a direction of the model. So if we have a look at the model from the front, we can see that it's currently sitting as a nice triangle. So it goes up the left-hand weapon to the head and then comes back down on the other arm. And from the side, it's kind of sweeping up to the back. So we've got the gun here, goes up to the body and then into the backpack. And then the backpack, the back of it is obviously a reverse triangle from the front as well. So what I'm looking for is not to outdo that triangle too much, or that shape. What I'll probably end up with, let's have a look what it looks like if he's holding the spear. Let's have a look. So this is where the bottom of the spear might need trimming down a little bit if it gets in the way. Well, actually, no, a bit of the hand might need trimming. Unless I bring it round like that. Oh, I like that. Yeah, okay, so decided. So yeah, most of the time when I'm doing things like this, there's not much planning. I kind of have the idea, and then as I grab all the different parts and everything, that's when I start coming up with kind of positions of things, playing around with things. And I might, even while I'm doing stuff like this, end up cutting something up that I've already stuck because I don't quite like the look of it. Oops. Do that again. Just hold that. Okay, so yeah, I like that. So looking at the direction of this model now, it's still got that kind of triangle within the main body, but it's kind of sweeps up from lower left of the model up to top right. So we've got quite a kind of a dynamic shape, and from the top we've got a kind of an upside down V with the direction. So I really like that, the way that that's appeared. So what I want to do now is attach the ammunition to
the back belt. Now when I was thinking about this, I actually thought, wow, the impracticality of having ammunition right next to a jump pack wouldn't be that wise, but then I thought, nah, it's going to look good. It doesn't matter if it blows up. But I'm going to have to use super glue for this because of the paint on the belt. So what I'm going to do is gently skewer that on the end of my scalpel blade and a little bit of super glue. And then I'm just going to push and hold. And that's in place. And let's see if the other one will fit. I hope it fits next to it. I might have to do a little bit of trimming down under the... yeah, okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to trim some of the side you're not going to see down, because I do want to make this fit. So like I said, I want this one overloaded with equipment. Maybe it's a Space Marine from a like a lost chapter, or he's the last member, or he's gone renegade. There we go. Or if you've seen some of my other videos from an alternate timeline, maybe. But yeah, no, I'm okay with, yep, I'm happy with that on the belt there. So here we now have all the parts glued in place. The one thing that I always feel I need to do at this stage is prime the whole model. So what I'll do is I'll prime all of it, take a few nice pictures, and I'll put them at the end of the video. But for now, I hope you've enjoyed this little video of me kit bashing this unique Space Marine. But for now, my name's John, and you've been watching War Games, Models, and Other Hobbies.